There is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration in the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage.
Full confession, before this press briefing, I had a whole report for you on eggs. Egg prices uniquely fire up people in our community because in recent years, the rise in prices is just so astonishing. In fact, this morning I asked our Smarter News audience what they're paying for prices around the country. For a dozen eggs, what does it cost you? And here's what some of you said. Upwards of $5 in Massachusetts, $8 to $11 to $15 in Southern California, $8-ish in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And one thing Caroline didn't mention in her answer there is there's a reason why farmers are culling their flocks and taxpayers are paying farmers for this. And that's the bird flu. We saw one of the worst outbreaks in U.S. history start in 2022. And it's basically been ongoing since then, impacting not just birds, but other animals and very rarely people, although we recently saw a death associated with bird flu a few weeks ago. Where do egg prices stand now? On average, a dozen eggs in America will cost you $4.15. Those aren't the fancy eggs. That's not the organic. It's not all the special, with the bows and the whistles, nothing like that. Just regular eggs, $4.15 per dozen on average. And that's actually lower than the record price that we saw for eggs, which was just over $4.80 in 2023. The problem and the reason for the attention now is that there's a forecast for higher prices from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And we anticipate that we could see a national average of above $5 per dozen eggs sometime soon. So we have that forecast. We also have a recent report suggesting that in the last few weeks, the bird flu outbreak has reached states it previously had not impacted. And that means more sick birds and more pressure on prices because if you have fewer birds, fewer eggs, prices go up. Plus, there's another concern. We've been through this period where you see a lot of migrating birds. Migrating birds spread illnesses and viruses spread more easily this time of year. So we have a lot of confluence of events for a reason for discussing higher egg prices. And there's an expectation of more pressure on you and me and what we're seeing at the grocery store.